皆さんこんにちは、Kento です。Today I'm going to talk about a few English words that a lot of people don't know that were originally Japanese. Now, I grew up speaking two languages, Japanese and English, and because of that, I thought I knew basically every word in English that was originally Japanese. I mean, when I hear words like sushi or ninja, I could immediately figure out that's Japanese because I speak Japanese. But then one day I was online, I was looking at ads on Etsy for vintage Levi's jeans when I saw this. Levi's, with a skosh more room. Now this is a bit of English slang, skosh, that I wasn't really familiar with. I mean, I knew that the word skoshi means a little in Japanese. So I tried it out. Levi's with a little more room. That made sense. So I looked it up, and yep, skosh also means a little in English. And it comes from the Japanese word that means the same thing and sounds a lot like it. Skoshi. Turns out, while American GIs were stationed in Japan after the Second World War, they picked up the word. And during the Korean War, the GIs apparently called fellow soldiers that were short, skosh. So it got me thinking, were there any other words that made its way from Japanese to English that I just didn't know about? I did a little bit of research and I found a few more. The first word I want to talk about is another word that was brought back from Japan by American GIs. It's the word head honcho, meaning the leader, the top brass, the boss, head honcho. Turns out, this was derived from the Japanese term hancho, which means team leader. The next word is rickshaw. Now, I didn't notice this one because the English word is a shortened, modified version of the original word. People who know Japanese are probably having an aha moment right now because, yes, rickshaw comes from the Japanese word jinrikisha. Take off the first bit, say it a bit differently, and jinrikisha becomes rickshaw. The three kanji characters in the Japanese word means human, power, wheeled vehicle. And as you might guess, the original Japanese word refers specifically to the kind that is pulled by a human on foot. Now, a little Japanese lesson here. A tank is called a sensha, war-wheeled vehicle. And a horse-drawn carriage is called a basha, horse-wheeled vehicle. So you can use sha as a suffix to describe wheeled vehicles. Now here's something fun. If you took these wheeled vehicles and stacked three of them together, what do you get? Well, you can imagine three-wheeled vehicles. It's super loud, right? And yeah, this is todoro, which means cantankerous, loud, in a lively way. Back to the topic. My next word blew my mind the most. The word is tycoon, as in roller coaster tycoon, zoo tycoon, rich business leader, head of industry. Yep, that word is Japanese too. I didn't notice this one because the Japanese word is rarely used anymore, and the Japanese word made its way to English such a long time ago that the English definition of the word changed a little bit. It made its way into the English language in 1853. Back then, Japan was closed off from the rest of the world. No one was allowed to enter Japan or leave. Then Commodore Perry from the US came to Japan with warships and basically said, hey, I don't like that you are closed off. I want to do trade with you. I'd like to speak to your leader or else. This was a bit of a problem for Japan because they had two leaders, the shogun, which translates to the general, and the tenno, the emperor. Now, if you were just looking at those two titles, you would probably guess that the emperor has the power. But in fact, the emperor was more or less powerless, and the real leader of the Japan was the shogun. Japan needed to come up with a new title for the shogun so that everyone that did diplomacy with Japan could understand that it was the shogun that had the power and not the emperor. So they decided to adopt a Chinese word that means great lord, tycoon. Anyways, Commodore Perry eventually went back home to the United States to report back, and with him he brought back the word tycoon. And that's when John Hay and John Nicolay, President Abraham Lincoln's personal aides, learned this word. And they liked it so much they started to call Lincoln a tycoon. Back then, it really just meant government leader, but eventually, after a few more decades, the word tycoon started to describe business leaders rather than government ones. Eventually, it landed on the definition we know today. So those are the words I wanted to talk about today. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any suggestions of what sort of content you want me to explore, drop it in the comments below. If you liked the video, please hit the like button. Next time, I'm gonna be talking about crazy anime hair, the history, and what's behind it. If you wanna check that out, hit that subscribe button, man. See you later.